All right, today we are in Scottsdale, Arizona with Mike Anderson of Ceja LLC. Mike is one of our top highest volume borrowers at Capital Fund. We've done close to 100 deals worth over $30 million. And today, Mike, we're going to be able to get to hear from him on how he's transitioned into this world of high volume real estate and how he's scaled up his business. So to get started, Mike, if you don't mind, walk us through your business model. I'm going to want to hear the origin story as well, but what are you doing primarily these days?
Primarily I do a fix and flip. We also do some Airbnb, we do some short-term rental. We're starting to dabble into multifamily a little bit more, but focus is on fix and flips.
Perfect. And where are you picking up all these properties? Because obviously, just for some context for our viewers, I mean, we're doing multiple deals. We're looking at multiple deals a week for you, which is very unique. It's very rare. Arizona is a very high volume, real estate intensive fix and flip culture, and even in this environment, you're ahead above everybody else in regards to being able to identify opportunities and then execute. So I'm really excited for this conversation. So if you don't mind, share a little bit. What's your strategy when you're picking up these properties?
My strategy is to build up relationships with all the wholesalers. So I do wholesalers. I network with a whole bunch of realtors. I go to mixers and meetings, and I also network with my friends. So it's basically a combination of all four of those things. But we focus primarily, with the wholesalers and building up those relationships.
So where do you focus here in the Valley? I believe you focus primarily in the North Phoenix, Scottsdale area, right?
We focus wherever their deal can be found. So basically, if the deal is, even if it's in Queen Creek, we'll go over there wherever the money is going to be. So my focus is greater Phoenix in general. We do different states as well, but the focus in Arizona is on the Phoenix metro area.
Okay. What do you like about Phoenix? Why Phoenix?
Phoenix is one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. I think we have about 200 people moving here a day. We have Taiwan microchip moving into town. They're supposed to bring us $36 billion into North Phoenix. Intel just committed another $20 billion into Phoenix. Mayo Clinic announced another expansion in North Scottsdale. So we have tons of money coming into the city, and I think that we just also had a commitment from Virgin Galactic is also going to be building here in Mesa. So the long story short is there's a ton of money, a ton of jobs coming into Phoenix. It's a hot market. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, and there's a ton of things to do in the city, so people want to move here. Desirable city for jobs and relocation.
Perfect. So you touched on the tech industry a little bit, and that's where you came from, not necessarily working for a tech company, but you were on IT. I know it was a high-level job within, was it US Bank?
USAA. I worked at USAA. I also worked at Microsoft. I worked at several different companies, have quite a bit of IT background. I was in charge of Microsoft Business Intelligence for Southwest United States. I went on with the team lead for USAA for their accounting department.
So I want to stay here for a little bit because it's really interesting to me, and I'm sure to a lot of people who are working 9-to-5s right now. Sure. And they may be in an engineering role or an analysis role or whatever. And how did you make that transition from your IT role into did you dip your toe in the water and start doing a couple deals?
Actually, I kind of sort of went head in. I mean, actually, I wanted to say, first off, you inspired me a lot. I remember the first conversation you had. You said, if you're doing this part-time, imagine what you could do doing this full-time as a real estate professional. I said, you know what? I could make a hell of a lot more money, and that was one of the triggers, the starting triggers, actually.
That's awesome.
And so when I quit my job at USAA and I came into this full-time, I just said, hey, you know what? This is my full-time job now. So what I did is I committed myself in order to do this, and I said, listen, I wanna move up to one of the top spots in the state. In order to do that, I have to go all in. And that means basically committing my mind and my technology resources and my people resources driving in the same direction.
Yeah. And how many projects do you have going on right now?
We have like 6 to 10 going on right now.
6 to 10. And what's amazing to me is I walk through, and I'm sure we'll get some shots of how many guys are working on this project right now.
Yeah.
And you've got 6 to 10 other projects going on.
Correct.
I mean, that's the coordination of the labor and the materials and making sure that that's all going on with 6 to 10 projects. I mean, that's impressive. It's really impressive.
So,
and I think that's what you're saying is, because when you were at USAA, we were still fielding lots of loan requests from you. I mean, it wasn't like you weren't doing this before and then just dove in and did it full time. So you were balancing both. But what you're saying is, if you want to be able to handle 6 to 10 properties at once and have your crews and have your materials lined up and moving these things and getting them back on the MLS so that you can sell them and get your proceeds and move on to the next one, or refinance and start doing your Airbnbs, it's got to be full time.
You can still do it part of the time and make money. If you're going to do it full time, that's where you're going to make the most money, of course, and you're going to be fully committed, and you're going to have efficiencies and synergies that you're not going to have when you're doing it part time, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. And are your contractors, are they on payroll, or do they have their own?
Well,
companies?
we pay the contractors directly. They do subcontractors out. Some of them we have specialists. We have a guy doing stucco here.
Sure. But you contract with them. They're not on La Ceja's payroll.
No, they're contracted
They're
out. They're
1099
contracted
and all that good stuff. Okay,
Correct,
cool.
yeah.
And what we found too is, because there's obviously other business models out there where people are bringing contractors on in-house, but it seems like the ones, the flippers who are able to do the highest volume, you have to allow your contractors to operate their business as they see fit too. Meaning, and what I mean by that is not pinching pennies over the markups, right? And letting them manage their crews and having a good relationship with the guys who are running the crews.
Absolutely, I'd say that, because basically they want to be able to run their own businesses or their some businesses.
Great. So I think now I'd just kind of like to see this property. I mean, we're in a great area in Scottsdale. I think 56th Street and Greenway, right? In that
85254, the magic zip code.
Yep, the magic zip code.
Yeah.
All the MLS agents know that. Perfect. So let's walk around and tell us what you focus on when you're identifying a property and what you've done with this one. So Mike, when you are assessing an opportunity, a property, you do your walkthrough. What are the key features of a property that you're looking for that says, okay, yes, this is a good property? And what are those deal killers where you say, you know what, it's just not worth my time?
Well, we look at a lot of things. One of the things we look at are days on market in that area. We look at curb appeal, how that property is going to sell when we get done with the product. We look at location. We look at street noise. We look at roofing, AC, structure. But the core things we're looking at are days on market, the supply, the zip code, and what schools are in that area. If there's any hospitals in that area, it's a good one because we can rent that out. A lot of key factors like that.
So it sounds like a bulk of your analysis goes into the location. The location where the lot is and how it's kind of positioned in the neighborhood.
Correct. Price and location are the two biggest factors.
Right. So now a topic that a lot of viewers have, and a lot of people who are just getting into fix and flipping, or at least trying to scale up, is they've run out of cash. They've got a couple projects under their belt. Now what? We know how to go out and get debt through hard money or whatever, but how are you raising the investor dollars? You don't need to tell us everything, but just curious, are your investors... Tell us a little bit about how you're sourcing the equity.
Well, I mean, basically, when I started smaller, and I did 4 or 5 flips simultaneously, and then I took the money and the profits from there and then reinvested it back in there, used that as a down payment, and then leverage, and kept on doing that too. You don't want to over leverage, but you want to make sure that you balance your portfolio, so you take the money and reinvest it in there. Sometimes I do a JV. This one happened, we do JVs with my brother-in-law, but most of these deals, the vast majority of these deals, I did solo.
Self-funded?
Self-funded myself.
Wow, that's awesome. So you truly did, build it up over time, just taking the proceeds from each sale and just rolling it to the next one.
Correct.
Not buying a nice jet to fly around the country.
What's the thing where I tell them to turn, man?
Beautiful. So let's walk around this property. I'd like to just see, hear from your perspective. When you walked in, we got some before photos, obviously from the file. So tell us what you've done and your thought process, where you're getting the most value, where the most bang for your buck is, and when you do put the budget together, where are you committing the majority of your budget to, because you know what's going to add the most value.
So this is all new landscaping. This was all weeds before.
Yep.
Obviously, we had to knock down all the weeds. I say they had to knock down. I don't want to take any credit. But yeah, and then we put in This is AstroTurf. We put in 2 sections right here, all new bricks. This will be all new stucco out here in the front.
Okay.
And then all of this stuff over here is obviously new rock that's going to go out throughout the entire house.
Right.
One of the things that we'll do is we'll replace on the front these boards. We'll add more boards throughout the front, kind of like that one. Sure. We'll add more boards throughout the front, and you can see we squared off these windows in the front.
Yeah, that's
all new
great.
lighting will go throughout the front, and then we'll move on to the back. But basically, this is the front.
Yeah, and it makes a huge difference. And again, curb appeal.
And sometimes we'll do the garage door, depending on it. We'll square it off to a more modern garage door, depending on the budget, which we're probably pushing right towards the top.
Okay.
As we kind of come into the house, this used to be a landing, and this used to be a drop-down landing here. This used to be
kind of that 80s style.
This used to be a drop-down. Yeah. It used to be about 6 inches. We filled this all in with cement. We tore up all the existing floor. We put in brand new baseboards. These baseboards are about 4 1/4 inch, I believe. And then we put in new laminate floor throughout the entire house. You can see we put in these new can lights here. We took down all the popcorn, smoothed it all over, and then we also replastered all these walls, textured them, made larger openings for the entryways to bring in more natural light, as well as modernize the houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in here we had outdated single pane windows. We're putting in modern dual-pane windows in here that are going to be squared off instead of the round architect. These will be squared off. And here, what we did is we raised the ceiling. This was a drop-down ceiling that dropped down to about this level right here. So this was all removed, just drywall work and duct work over here. Mm-hmm. And then basically this makes this area larger because the ceilings are taller.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
So, when you get in with the end product, you have to have a vision in mind on what that end product's going to look like and what the client really wants to buy in that particular area. So it's kind of knowing your client, just like any other product you sell. You have to know your client, who's going to buy in Scottsdale. What do they want? They want modernized houses. They want stucco. They want curb appeal. We have landscaping. They want to have landscaping out there. They want to have parking. They want to have covered parking. They want to have a nice pool. So knowing the client that's going to move in here, we have a lot of physicians moving in here from the Mayo Clinic's one of the best hospitals in the United States. It's not very far away from here.
Yeah.
We have a lot of physicians that want to come over and buy properties. What would a physician want to buy?
Right. So something nice.
Right. And so their vision of that is they want to have the squared off fireplaces. They want to have the nice pools. They want to have stucco. They don't want to have outdated brick. So we build to the clientele. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Perfect. So let's keep moving through here. So we're going to use our imaginations here because this is the kitchen. But walk us through. It's actually a great opportunity. Walk us through what you want the layout of this kitchen to look like and why.
Okay, so we're going to do shaker cabinets all the way around both corners of this. We're going to put in stainless steel appliances is usually what we go with. We're going to put it in an island over here. We'll go with granite countertops. Usually either we'll go with white and gray or gray and white, meaning the granite countertops are gray and the cabinets are white, or vice versa. Those are just kind of least common denominator, meaning the most buyers would want to buy those kind of products.
Sure.
If we go with crazy colors, it's not as appealing to a wide array of buyers.
What adjustments are you making to your renovations, if any?
Well, I mean, we make adjustments based on whatever the price points are going to be in the future. So if we think the price point is going to come down in the future, we'll make adjustments for maybe taking out some of the bells and whistles type of thing.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful part too about, like you mentioned, you're not shooting for 12, 15-month renovation projects, durations. You're shooting for something that you can get in and out of. You can get your crew in here, buy those materials quickly, renovate it so that you're selling in kind of the same market that you bought it in versus hoping that 16 months down the road, the market is where you want it to be.
Correct. It's a little bit different market. The high-end market that takes a longer turnaround, a little bit more risk, in my opinion, because you don't know what the market's going to forecast out in the future. 2008 was a one-time anomaly, which was.
But even then, if you look at the way that the prices moved through 2006 to 2009, didn't happen overnight.
Didn't happen overnight.
You did have indicators that you could have been paying attention to and pivoted, on what types of projects you were taking on, if any, before the prices dramatically adjusted.
Right. I mean, real estate is cyclical, but here's the thing to keep in mind is real estate's made more millionaires than any other sector in the world. So basically, there's no better investment than in real estate.
And at the end of the day, you own something.
At the end of the
you
day,
don't
this is
own
real
a
property. We
ticker.
don't have a piece of paper
Exactly.
like they do in a 40, like a 401k. All that stuff is paper. I mean, it can vanish in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And this is a real asset that's not going to go anywhere. It's also a need. Shelter is a need.
Right.
So the basic things you need in life are shelter, water, food. I mean, so those type of commodities are not going to go anywhere because there's a need for them.
Right. Well, let's take a look at the master bed, master bath.
So this is a finished bathroom. We put in brand new tile. We did the plumbing. This was actually a drop down when we got this. So we had to fill in all the cement here, raise the plumbing, and basically put in all this brand new tile.
So what are you doing in here? It looks like
The bedrooms, we're opening up this. This is a window. We're opening this up and framing this in a little bit larger to bring in more natural light. You can see that the ceiling here is raised, and we have new can lights throughout the whole thing. We have the baseboards. Sometimes what we'll do is we'll open up these closets so that they can expand and have a little bit more space for walk-in closets. And also this has a walkout into the pool. So we have a door out that goes out to the pool. So it's kind of nice because somebody can wake up in the morning and go jump in the pool.
Yeah.
Or come back in very easy. So
Perfect. Oh, looks like a 4-bed.
Oh, one.
1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
four.
4.
It is 4 bedrooms.
Oh, nice. You just extended the flooring into here, and we're able to use this. It looks like the same materials in this bathroom as in the master.
Yeah. So you want to have one smooth flow. One other thing we did is you notice in the bedrooms here we actually put laminate versus carpet.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more per square foot to do that, but basically you don't have to clean carpets that way. You don't have to replace them. This will also give you a longer wear and tear on your flooring.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, perfect. All right, well let's go check out the exterior. I know you're doing a lot with the landscaping and the stucco.
okay, so here in the back you can see we're stuccoing the back fence here. Before you can see it's just cylinder block. This is all brand new synthetic stucco. They're going to put 2 coats on this and then they will all be painted. They just started on this today and they're already halfway around this fence. You can see how fast this team moves.
Now, when you're buying a property with a pool, obviously pools, if they need to be repaired, can be very, very expensive. So,
Yeah.
what's your thought process when taking down a property with a
Well,
pool?
let's go out towards the pool because I'll show you this pool. So out here we put in a brand new cool deck. This is all brand new. If you zoom down towards the cool deck, it's a beautiful cool deck. We have all this pool has been completely resurfaced. You can see all the way to the bottom, very clear now.
Yeah.
Before this pool, it's kind of a little bit helter-skelter mess. And we also put in brand new lighting into the pool. And we did this in about 4 days.
So in 4 days, wow. Because that sounds like a big project. And I think when a lot of people look at properties with obvious pool issues, they can see that could really eat into the budget. What percentage of the budget when you're taking on a project like that would you say goes towards the pool?
Percentage of the budget, this is probably about 12%.
Okay, so that's not too bad. So plus or minus $100,000 budget, only about 10 to 15,000 went into the pool.
10 to 15,000 in the pool.
Yeah.
This stucco is going to make a huge upsell for the house. So this
agree.
stucco is probably about 20% of the budget. But this stucco, they're wrapping it all the way around here, all the way around the whole house.
Mike, really impressed with what you have going on. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and explain how you've been able to achieve what you have. You know, you have a lot of unique traits that has been really implemented into your business model really well, and it's really impressive. And I think if people are listening and taking what you're saying seriously, they can really scale up their businesses as well. And I look forward to taking on many more deals with you and helping you scale your business as much as you possibly can.
Likewise, and thank you for everything you've done with the hard money lending. I wouldn't recommend anybody else. These guys are great. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either one of us. We'd be glad to entertain them.
Awesome, appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Mike.